Hello, welcome and thank you for watching this video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you and giving explanations about candidates that could not meet cutoff marks for their department. More so, I'm going to be explaining course transfer and change of course process. I'm going to be explaining what you are going to do if you are considered for course transfer. Also, I'm going to be explaining about admission status, how to accept admission. I'm going to showing you explanations on acceptance fee payment and online screening, and also we are going to be talking about some documents you need after you have been offered admission. So if you are a candidate that is concerned with any of this information, you need to listen attentively and follow the video to the end. So first, I should tell you that this video does not represent any official or any offices. It's just for educational purposes. And I'm going to be using University of Ibadan as a case study for most of the explanations in this video. So first, if you don't meet cutoff marks, what would happen? We all know that after exams, they will release results and they are going to release cutoff mark as well. And after the release of cutoff mark, everyone will know where they belong to. Those that meet the cutoff mark will know immediately, and those that could not meet the cutoff mark will also know. Now, after that, that's when you will see where people would not know what next to do. We'll be receiving questions. What should I do? Is there going to be change of course? Can I change my course? And so on and so forth. It's because of that we are making this video, so that we can provide a comprehensive explanation to those candidates who belong to that category. Now, after the list of cutoff marks, we usually have two categories of candidates. Number one is the category of candidates who score below 50 in post-UTME. According to the policy, the school will not consider this category of people for admission at all. So any person that belongs to this category, or any candidate that belongs to this category of people who score below 50 in post-UTME, the options they have is to change their institution to another one. And because of JAMB policy now, you should know that any decision you want to make in changing your institution should be done as soon as possible, because there's going to be a deadline for admissions. So for you to have different options, choices, and chances, you should make your decision as soon as possible. That's for you, by the way. And also, the other option they have, if they still want to get a certificate from the University of Ibadan, is to consider admission into UI distance learning as an alternative. And if you are interested in that, you can check the playlist of this video. You are going to see explanation on UI distance learning there. Another option they have is to prepare and come back stronger the following year. So if you don't meet the benchmark for the post-UTME, you have three options. Number one is to change your institution immediately. Number two is to consider your distance learning. Number three is to prepare stronger and come back the following year to apply for admission. And I must tell you that you should be fast in making this decision before admission deadline as set by JAMB, as I said earlier. So if you belong to this category of people that will be looking for institutions that are still available for admission in any year that you are watching this video, then you can send a message to me on WhatsApp to get information for that. But note that you are going to be paying for consultation. So that's the first category of people that we are going to talk about. The second category of candidates are those who pass the exam and have 50 and above in post-UTME, which the aggregate score is close to the cutoff but still below it. So this second category of people are those who could not meet the cutoff mark for their department. They may be close to the uh, cutoff mark, but they are still below it. So this type of candidate, the school will sometimes offer them course transfer option to other departments that are still available and there are still spaces for candidates there. But there are some things that will be considered before a person will be transferred to another department. So if you are watching this video, please listen attentively so that you know those conditions that the school will look at before they would transfer a candidate to another department. Because I'm going to show you course transfer process in this video. So this category of candidate will still be admitted into the school but will not be into the choice department. It's not into the department that they applied for earlier. It's going to be into another department that they will be transferred to. So let's move ahead. At this point, we used to receive so many questions from candidates that will be asking us that they want to change their course. Can they change their course? Is there going to be change of course and all that? So what you have to know is that if you want to change your course, there are periods that you are safe to change your course and there are periods that you are not safe to change your course. So now after the use of cutoff marks, you are no longer safe to change your course. That's why I'm telling you in this video that you cannot personally determine which course you'll be transferred to. So the admission office decides who to be transferred and where to be transferred to. But the determining factor are your aggregates and O-level results and combination. As I said earlier that there are conditions that they are going to look at before they can transfer you to a department. And those conditions are your aggregate, the O-level results you have, and your UTME combination. So the explanation of that is that let's say you are applying for a department that requires English language, biology, physics, and chemistry, and you have the same in your O-level results. So if you do not meet the cutoff mark for that department, another department that accepts biology, physics, chemistry, English, that's where they are going to transfer you to. They cannot transfer you to a department that will require English, biology, mathematics, and physics. So that's how it works. So now that's where some people will make the mistake. They will previously apply for a department that accepts uh, their combination, and when they want to change their course, they will be changing their course to another department that did not even have a requirement for. That's an error on its own, and the act of changing course without being uh, advised to is an error on its own as well. So if a candidate cannot possibly wait for course transfer, it is better they change to another institution as soon as possible. So the act of changing your course without course transfer would mean that you just waste your time and money, because after the days of cutoff marks, they have already considered the number of candidates for a department. That's why they release the cutoff mark. So the cutoff mark means the aggregate of the last person they admitted in that department. So the department that they have already concluded the number of candidates they are going to admit, that's the department some people will be changing to. So you can see that there's no way such person would be admitted. So let's move ahead. I'm going to explain course transfer and change of course. So as I said earlier that it is a total waste of time that you change your course without being considered for course transfer. So some people will not know the difference between course transfer and change of course, and that's why they make the mistake of changing their course without being considered for course transfer. So it is important for you to understand the difference between the course transfer and the change of course. At the stage when they have already released a cutoff mark, you cannot wake up and decide to change your course yourself. Some people, they will say their brother advised them to change their course, their sister advised them to change their course, someone told them to change their course and all that. So all those things are just total waste of time unless you have been considered for course transfer and you are advised by the school to change your course to another one. You are just wasting your time. So course transfer process is solely reserved for the admission fees because it's the admission fees that controls the process. So if the the school decides that you qualify for a course transfer, the option of that course transfer would appear on your JAMB CAPS, and you may also be sent a notification by JAMB into your mail telling you that the school has considered you for a course transfer and you should either accept or reject the transfer before the admission can continue. So as a candidate, if you do not meet the cutoff mark for your department, do not make the mistake of doing the change of course without course transfer consideration. So do not change your course if you have not been transferred to another course. That's the warning that we should sound for every person that could not meet the cutoff mark for their department and they are thinking of changing their course. We have explained above that you have some choices, and in those choices, there is none that says that you should change your course. The options are that you should change to another institution, you considered DLC, or you should come back stronger the following year. Another option for the second category of people is that they should wait for course transfer, not that they should decide that they want to change their course themselves. So let's move ahead as I explain the process of course transfer to you. So as I said earlier that if you have been considered for course transfer, you will see the notification in your JAMB CAPS under the transfer window, and you may be sent a notification by JAMB. So this is an example of a notification sent by JAMB for course transfer. So this is exactly how you are going to see the notification from JAMB. This is the mail. So you can see that the person applied for civil engineering in that school, and the school is considering the person for course transfer into logistics and transport management. So this is how the mail will be, and also this is how course transfer will show under the transfer window in your CAPS. So if you don't know how to check this transfer window, you can look for a particular video in this on this channel. You will see how to access your CAPS. So in that video, you will see explanations on uh, how to log into your CAPS, how to navigate and check different sections of the CAP, including course transfer window. So another explanation is that course transfer is not always guaranteed and it is not available to every candidate because the school cannot admit everyone. So as we have been saying that there is going to be course transfer instead of change of course, you should know that it is not always guaranteed and it is uh, by some conditions that we have explained above, and it is not available to every candidate because the school cannot admit everyone. Even though every year the school may introduce new courses that some candidates will be eligible for and they may be transferred to, because those new departments, no one has applied to them, and because they are newly introduced, so the school may transfer some candidates there, and there are some departments that they have not been filled up. All those departments as well, the school will transfer some candidates there. But there's a limit to the number of candidates that the school can admit. That's why course transfer will not be for every person. And that's why we said course transfer is not always guaranteed. So it's very important you take note of that. So if you get the opportunity of course transfer, it is considered as a privilege. And if you are interested in the course you have been offered, you are free to accept or reject it. So in this explanation now, you can reject course transfer, you can reject any course you have been offered in the transfer window and all that. And the thing is that if you reject it, if they think they can still offer you another one, a different course, you still see another notification. So if you are not interested in the first one and you reject it, you will still may be considered for another one. And if you are interested in the second one, you can accept it. But it's not every time that when you reject one, they will offer you another, because the first one they offer you is a privilege on its own. So if you think, okay, they offer me this particular course, I'm not interested in that at all, reject it. If you are lucky again that they consider it for another one, they will show you. And if you're interested in it, you accept. If you're not, you can still reject. So that's how it works. So this is course transfer process. So it is very important that you take note of this. So when you have gotten a notification that you have been transferred to a course, what you have to do is to first log into your JAMB CAPS to accept the transfer offer if you are interested in it. So if you're interested in transfer offer, you accept it. And for you to accept course transfer offer, you are going to log into your JAMB CAPS, navigate to the CAPS section, navigate to the transfer window section, and you are going to see the course you applied for, the institution, the JAMB registration number, the course they want to transfer it to, and the date. And you're going to see the button to accept or to reject. So that's number one. Number two is that after you have accepted the transfer offer, it is not an offer of admission, it is just a transfer offer. So after that, you may wait for your admission status to change from not admitted to admission in progress. You have to listen attentively here, because we decided to experiment with some candidates before we give out this particular information. So after you have accepted the transfer offer, you may wait until your admission status changes to AIP. If you wait until after a week and the admission status does not change to AIP, you can proceed to change to that course if that's how that particular school does their things. You have two options after accepting transfer offer. The first option is to wait for the admission status to change from not admitted to admission in progress. After you are seeing admission in progress status, then you will wait again until you are offered admission. So when you are offered admission, you are going to accept it through the methods, maybe the SMS method, or you go to the CBT center to accept the admission. After you have accepted the admission, then you are going to do change of course at the CBT center. So it's very important that you do change of course before you print your admission letter. If you are a transfer candidate. So the fifth step is to print your admission letter. But I'm going to repeat this process for some people that they change their course after accepting transfer offer. So for them is that when they accept the transfer offer, they may not wait too much. If you are waiting after a week and the admission status has not changed from not admitted to admission in progress, then you can proceed to change your course first. After which, it is expected that it will change from not admitted to admission in progress. So after it has changed to admission in progress, you are going to wait again until it changes to you have been offered admission, then you are going to accept, then you are going to print your admission letter. That's another process. But the process that is always working is to first accept the transfer offer, wait until the admission status changes to AIP, accept admission when you have had admission, change your course first, then print admission letter. So that's the process. If you do not hear this very well, you can just uh, scroll back to the beginning of this explanation and listen again. It is very important. And that number 4 is very important, that you change your course first before you print admission letter. So let's move ahead. So this is explanation about admission status now. So your admission status on JAMB CAPS will pass through uh, different stages, basically three stages. So the first one is not admitted. So when you are seeing not admitted on your CAPS, it means that you have not been considered for admission. That's very clear. Okay, let's just add this, that you are seeing not admitted. It means that you have not been considered for admission yet. It does not mean that you are not going to be considered for admission. So take note of that. So the second stage is admission process, which we call AIP. So this is a positive sign that your admission is being processed. The school has considered you for admission. So, and at this point, what you have to do is to check your O-level results, that they are been correctly uploaded to JAMB CAPS. And at this point, all you have to do is to keep checking. Because we used to receive so many questions about this, that okay, I've been on AIP for 1 week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. It is very normal that you are seeing that. All you have to do is to check that your O-level is correctly uploaded on JAMB CAPS and you have the required O-level results. After that, you keep checking. So that's about AIP. So after AIP, you are going to see congratulations, you have been offered admission. It is different from congratulations, you have accepted admission. So when you have been offered admission, it means that you are required to accept or reject it. So if you are going to accept the admission, you are required to do that within 4 weeks, because after 4 weeks it will disappear. So the two ways to accept admission is to use the SMS method, or you go to CBT center to accept your admission. Okay, how to accept admission is already here. So after you have accepted admission through either ways, you are going to see congratulations, you have accepted admission. So after that, you are going to print your admission letter. Okay, so it's very important that you ensure that your O-level results are uploaded on JAMB CAPS, especially during this stage of not admitted and the stage of admission in progress. So it's very important. So this is the screenshot of congratulations, you have been offered admission. Okay, and these are the options to accept or to reject through the SMS method. And you can also go to CBT center to accept your admission. So this is congratulations, you have accepted admission. You can see that it's different from congratulations, you have been offered admission. So that's how it goes. So now, for those people who are candidates of University of Ibadan, this is the stage where I'll be explaining acceptance fee payment and online screening. I'm thinking if I should make this video in 2 parts so that it will not be too long. So let me just summarize and go back to the beginning before I conclude this video. So from the beginning of this video, I explained that we have two categories of candidates after the use of cutoff marks. the ones that could not score up to 50 in post-UTME, he explained that they have options of changing to another institution. I told you that they have the option of considering your distance learning, and they have the option of coming back the following year. So the second category of people, I explained that they did not meet the cutoff mark for their department, and the option they have is to either wait for course transfer or change to another institution. I noted the warnings that you cannot personally determine which course you will be transferred to, because the admission office reserves the right to transfer you to a department or the other. I also explained the difference between course transfer and change of course, that it is a school that considers you for a course transfer and should not make the mistake of doing a change of course without course transfer consideration. Also, I showed you the classification of transfer offer. I also show you how it's going to be on your CAPS, and also I showed you the course transfer process. Also, we talked about the different stages of admission in JAMB CAPS, and I showed you the screenshots of when you have been offered admission and when you have accepted admission. So if you are a candidate of University of Ibadan and you want to get information about acceptance fee payment, online screening, and the documents you are going to need for admission, please look out for the second part of this video so that you can watch it. And for some other people that they are candidate of another institution, so we have been admitted, some documents you are going to need. Normally, you are going to need admission letter, your JAMB admission letter, original JAMB results, your O-level result, or original certificate. You are going to need level scratch card to check your result token and all that, and some other things. So as I end this video, please, if you need any admission documents, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. I will drop my contacts in the video description below, and you can also send a message for consultation. Please share this video to your friends and like and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to see you next time.